Ahem. Okay, hi, hello there. We are live with Disco Elysium. Admittedly, I wanted to be live yesterday, but other priorities took over, so here we are with Disco Elysium Round 2. I mean, I think this is our third session of this, actually. Some part of me really wants to reload and see if I can do anything a little different. Maybe be a bit more efficient on time, but I think I've done enough of that with Persona 5. Oh man, I think I've had enough of restarting a whole playthrough. Cause, so yeah, I guess more behind the scenes kind of thing, but for a different game that's on the other side of the law compared to this one. Yeah, so I restarted P5. I tried to optimize things a bit more, because I'm only gonna play it once, so you figure, might as well be on the up and up. And this one kinda made me want to do that too, but I guess we're fine. Anyways, as far as this goes though, I may or may not search up things that get me perhaps a bit too curious, to be honest.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of a metallic drawer slot.
Take what you need, officer. It's going to be a long case. I'm not protective of my tools, like some men are.
He's clearly a little protective of his tools. But what can you do? Work is work. The handles are long and sleek. The pry bar, useful for opening all sorts of doors and lids. It's robust, lets you see things in the dark. The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest.
Okay, I think we can come back to this, though. Shit. Which Martinez is which one? Oh, good heavens. I have so many autosaves. It's actually monkeys. Okay, anyway. We're gonna go back to the crime scene, see if we can finish up this autopsy. That's the big goal for today. Finish up the autopsy, see, I don't think we're getting 100 real, but...
The rotting man. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Cut with as much precision as you can, please.
See, my pig is gonna fuck his head off.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
Oh god.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck.
I'm not gonna say I'm
edges
Kuno's
like white
pig.
bread
What the
rising
heck?
from the east.
Also, damn it. Okay, maybe it's a good thing I saved, because, I do not think I'm winning this dice roll. Damn. Why am I addicted to dice roll games? Shit, I might as well play more CRPGs after this. Because there is something strangely fun doing it here compared to a JRPG. I don't know why. Well. Alright. Let's roll the dice.
You jam the cutters right under the knot. That seems like a smart idea. Yeah, somewhere there. Already they're buried deep in the man's flesh. A really, really bad smell is coming from there now. And some kind of cracking sound. A really, really bad...
Yeah, fuck him!
Told you my pig was...
I should have a go first. I think I have a strategy.
He sinks the cutters. Snap. The knot is slashed. Another...
Here.
Man! I don't want my partner to do this. I want to do it on my own. Cause I gotta roll a really bad dice roll, even though there is actually a failsafe. Which is kinda interesting for some of this. Maybe it's because it's a plot required thing and you kind of fuck up by not doing it.
The rotting man. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses, and you find a moment.
What?
See?
No, he ain't. You're
You jam...
Damn! Really? No! I rolled double ones! No! Damn it! I knew I should have upped my fizz. I kind of want to read the cases, but
The rotting man. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes...
See?
No, he ain't. You're pig.
After
Yes!
some deliberation, you sink the cutters into the knot tying the belt together. You squeeze the rubber handles together, sweat forming on your brow. Snap. The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red ligature mark around it.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck. Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters. Chest is intact, normal contour, abdomen is protuberant, pelvis intact, genitalia...
No! Let's get out and see!
I fucking knew it!
This is clearly what they've been waiting for.
wow!
Ever since the autopsy began, the
Though it-
lieutenant is trying to make it as boring as possible.
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury.
The dead man's penis is average-sized.
Oh,
congested
why
from
did
the
I
downward
do
collection
this?
of blood. The testicles are uneven in length, hanging underneath. The genitalia is greenish. Marbling is present around the crotch.
I think this is worse than blue balls. Ah, dear. I regret my decisions already.
Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip. In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin.
From wounds sustained over 2, maybe more decades, dispersal and accumulation indicates long and active combat duty.
We have a real museum here. Of battles, wars. Last item, hands.
His flesh is cold, icy.
Pleased to meet you. Where are you from and what's your name? I'm only fucking with you. I know where you're from. Nothing does. This was pleasurable. I sincerely thank you for touching my hand. We should do this more often. Be close like this, I mean.
Hands are clean. No sign of injury from struggling. I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, this stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment. Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next? Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 feels. Leave a 4th one too. Nothing. Just in case. Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted. And your opinion, officer? Agreed. Next injury? So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury. A stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem.
At maximum velocity, fucko!
Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath, the description of injury. 2 boxes.
Right. Next. A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side, the ring around his neck.
I want to say
visible.
fatal injury.
That's it. We have established cause of death. It's not much, and it leaves much to be questioned. But it's a start. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over. Well, we established probable cause of death. Some would say that's the goal of an autopsy. We also requested a toxicological screening. That was thorough. The results should arrive in a couple of weeks, if we are lucky. I will not hold my breath. We were thorough with the list of injuries too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field autopsy.
There's gotta be more.
Oh yeah, well done, Master Detective. Maybe a drink is in order?
Now we put him in a body bag and I drive him to Forborg for processing.
The lieutenant looks at the dead man one more time, then at his notebook, then at the corpse again. He's thinking, did I miss something? I'm sure we didn't get everything. There's always something.
Wait, hold on. This is gonna be really bad. Ah, damn it.
Aces high. For the rest of the world, the aces high is just a cool Revachol thing, politically neutral. In Revachol, it still holds revolutionary connotations. Also, have you looked at Lieutenant Kitsuragi's clothes? He wears a bomber jacket, just like the ones worn by aerostatic brigades, and those cargo pants could store tools for hotfixing your aerostatic. Maybe you should ask him about this.
It's been a week and now they...
I think I can save this now. Which case I will save here, actually. And let's see. It's time to try and roll a 3% chance. Also, hey there. I've been fine. I've been fine.
Like a pile of intestines. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
We're so gonna lose.
You run your hands over the victim's cold body, his limbs, the genitals.
Do you think we missed...
You can't shake the feeling that there are more secrets concealed in the flesh before.
Okay, well, we are in livor mortis here. If you want for this task to slowly become impossible...
Not to mention the damage that...
It would have to be in the...
Fuck you!
Only...
Hold on. I think we can do this. I don't care how many times I'm gonna have to press the button. I will roll that 3%. Even though it's such a terrible idea. Alright, let's do this. Come on. Give me that 3%. Oh wait, what if I level up perception?
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Come on.
You run your hands over the victim's cold body, the corpse.
Do you think
I will have my 3%. This is basically gotcha levels of rolling.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath. You run your...
I will have it. I swear to heck I'll have it.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath. You run your hands over the...
Damn, I actually have to more or less get the big roll. Let's see if it turns green.
The lieutenant adjusts his
The
glasses
dice eventually
and
has
takes
to
a
go
deep
my way.
breath. You run your...
I don't care how many turns it takes.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath. You run your...
Damn, I really do have to roll a perfect double 6. This is nuts.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath. You run your hands over the...
So close. I wonder if this is low on purpose.
His glasses and takes a deep
It
breath.
has to be. It's just like when I re-rolled the shoot option.
You run your hand...
Dang. These odds are not with me today.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses.
I will
and
have
takes
it
a
within
deep
the first
breath.
20 minutes of this stream.
You run your...
I was so close that one roll.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a
And I
deep
know I have
breath.
a 1 out of 24 odds, but still.
You run your...
Come on! I wish I could save in the middle of
adjusts his glasses and
selection.
takes a deep breath. You run your hand...
Damn. Okay. Let's try that again.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and
I
takes a
highly
deep
doubt
breath.
this is gonna trip it in our favor. Yep, nope.
You run your hand...
Never mind. It won't. Even if I didn't establish the cause. Freaking
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
the rolls are against me.
You run your...
Dang. You know, I know there's a saying that goes, you should fold the
lieutenant
cards
adjusts
sometimes.
his glasses and takes a deep breath.
But I want this roll.
You run your...
It's legendary for a reason. I can understand that much.
The lieutenant adjusts
I wonder
his
if I should
glasses
have gone
and takes a deep breath. You run your hand...
Damn. Come on.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Get me the green!
You run your...
Wow. Game really hates me right now. This is just like my
The
XCOM
lieutenant
save scums.
adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath. You run your...
Oh, come on! There has to be more.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath. You run your hand...
Ah! Dang it, so close. I just need one of these re-rolls to be a 12 out of 12.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Come on!
You run...
Dang it! Not like this. Wow, at this rate, I think this might be the entire stream. Me trying to re-roll really bad odds.
His glasses and takes a deep breath.
Damn, I might as well go play the lottery if I actually...
Your arm reaches out.
Yeah!
Eyes close, as if by their own volition.
Woohoo! 1%, baby! I mean, 3%.
Feel
Fuck it, I
cold,
don't care.
Dead flesh through the latex glove. It's right under the palm of your hand. His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat, swollen lips. Like a rubber spider, your gloved hand crawls on his features. Everything is silent, all around. The oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth, lolling around like a scallop. You're on the right track. The tongue moves freely in the cavity. The mucus of the mouth is slippery, fragile, even through the latex. From the soft meat, teeth are budding. Hard pearls of bone in the gums and in the back of the mouth. Can you feel it? You're so close. Rip his jaws open now. Look in. A vision of black and dark red death, pried open by your hands and studded with teeth. Looks like he's laughing. Death fumes rising from his throat. And there, in the back of his mouth, above the bell of the uvula, right in the soft palate.
Come on.
You see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanished. No larger than 0.4 centimeters in radius, the edges appear darkened. An abrasion collar. This is what we're after.
I see it.
Kuno is silent. A black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound. Your index fits right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage. Wide enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth, right into his brainstem.
The fuck is happening?
Ah, shit, see?
Yes, that's what this part is called. The basal ganglia feels clumpy. What entered here has torn apart his reptilian complex. This man will never sleep again, never wake. Your yellow fingers slide into the remains of the limbic system. There is no resistance. It's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep into both hemispheres. The lieutenant answers with the sound of his pen on paper.
Fucking cavity, see?
Quivering with awe.
Push
Your
deeper.
fingers are all the way in now, reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but the entry wound isn't wide enough for the rest of your hand to follow. Your fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly. Cold jelly. Strange fluid streams down your wrist as you push deeper until you feel it
On the tip of your finger.
Ice cold serrated metal. Its edges cut right through the latex and into your finger.
Can you get to it?
There's a tiny crack, a protrusion in the cranium.
Oh god,
right in
this
the
is
back
a...
of his head. Your finger must be pointing straight at it, from the inside. The object that is in there stops just short of the skull, in the encephalus, knocking this tiny fracture into the cranium.
We have the makings of a very small exit wound here.
Forget about the fucking exit wound, Beano. The pig is wearing him like a fuck puppet.
Her voice is absolutely sizzling with excitement.
Okay, it's very high for some reason. Yes!
You pick the object between your index and middle finger. It feels sharp, like metal. With your face twisting from pain and concentration, all you need to do is just...
My pig's fucking got it.
He's watching his old man get the big prize at the claw game.
This is one fucked up claw game if I have to say anything.
What? What is it?
The inside of the head feels cold and smooth, like a glove. Sweat dripping down your brow. Careful not to lose the prize between your fingers. With a plop, your hand emerges from the mouth. The garden glove is covered in blood right up to the wrist. Between your fingers, a small flower. A blossom made of lead.
Fucking beautiful!
A bullet.
The bullet falls in the bag, leaving a smattering of blood on the plastic. He raises the bag under his eyes and says,
A non-caliber. Rifled. Some kind of brittle alloy. Fractured on impact. Of course, you deserve it. Looks like we need to add one more item to your injury list. Injury number 4. All-voluntary wound with an abrasion collar. Soft palate, back of mouth. High velocity. Temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound? Opinion, fatal injury. And one last thing. We should amend injury number 3. Ligament mark. New opinion, non-fatal. Post-mortem. Treatment.
He's proposing the bullet was the real cause of death, and the hanging an attempt to conceal this fact.
Treatment, officer, is an attempt to manipulate the body after death, to hide the real cause with a false cause. In this case...
Damn, I didn't expect myself to be so gripped with the really bullshit 3% odd roll.
This injury here. Yes, and the belt around his neck, the hanging, even dragging him to the yard. All of it was done after this man was already dead. I did not just come up with this. I have had my doubts since we found no signs of struggle on his wrist. No claw marks on his neck. Why? Why didn't he fight for his life? There have been other signs too. Small details. Everything is too
Oh, we did a secret task, hey yo!
As we did, full-heartedly. Well, no more.
We almost fell for it, he thinks. Almost. There is, of course, the very real possibility he was both shot and hanged.
To put him out of his misery? It's possible, but it doesn't explain all the other dubious things here. Lack of struggle, primarily. I may be intellectually sloppy, but I prefer one theory at a time. And this just smacks of treatment to me. That's for us to find out. But this, it will make finding them just a little easier. To hide something. The real killer? The real motivation? What really happened here? Yes, we should take a closer look at it. I am certain it has more to tell us.
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it.
Oh, you really do. I am glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling in Rags should come with a bathroom. Be sure to make use of it in the evening. We put him in a bag and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. The body bag should contain the odor for the duration of the transport. I would drive him to processing, but it's too late to do that today. I'll do it first thing tomorrow. No problem. One more thing. This was really good work, detective.
Hey! Alright!
The word lingers in the air of the yard. As far away, dogs are barking. Further yet, the sound of motor traffic. Detective.
All right. I will need a little help carrying him. You take the hands, I'll take the legs.
Oh, right. We should tell the gardener that we finally got rid of the corpse.
I can't believe it's snowing again. It felt like springtime just a few days ago. Like, gone? In heaven? Thank you, officer. Looks like I'll get mint in the ground by April. See you around, officer.
I could play as a douchebag cop. I don't know. I just don't feel right.
Hello, sir. Step right in. The store is open. Are you interested in a new and exciting book? It's a bookstore, sir. We sell books, postcards, and some board games. It's called Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold your horses, little girl.
Oh boy. It's time to ask really dumb questions. What's a book?
That is a book. They have stories inside them. It's like someone told you a story in a really long letter.
What's a postcard?
A postcard is a small cardboard picture. You can write a few
Hey,
words on the
Sprocket.
other side and send it to your friend or beloved.
She is unfazed by your question.
So,
She would consider it impolite to point out any perceived weirdness.
I don't want to do the roll again, but I spent the first, 15 minutes of this stream trying to roll a 3% roll. Man, they don't call these legendary rolls without reason. Holy shit. I had to reload so many times to nail them. It's one of those, you either get double 6 or you just do not win at all.
Board games are like little games on a table, made to pass the time. There are several different ones, but sailors here mostly buy cards.
Man, thank goodness this game doesn't have a D20 for the dice or I'd be really screwed. Beyond all belief.
My pleasure. Anything else you'd like to know? Okay, sir. I'll try to answer any questions you have. I hope they're about books. My name is Annette, sir. My mum, her name is Plaisance. She owns the store. She's inside minding the register or organising the stock. Feel free to step in and browse our wares. I'm signalling that the store is open. Otherwise people might not know. They'd miss out on the crime, romance and biographies of famous people.
A sudden gush of wind turns the pages of the books on the counters. She covers her face, smiling.
I don't think
But
I
she's
want to
cold.
pat her head with these blood-stained hands that I just stuck up a guy's brain. That's kinda gross.
Kind of you to offer, sir.
What could you do to help her anyway?
Oh no, sir. I'm happy to help Mum by luring in customers. Besides, I have some hot juice in my vacuum bottle to keep warm. My name is Feel free to step in. My name is Feel free to. I'm signalling that.
A sudden gush of wind turns the pages of the books on the counter.
Thank you, sir. I'm happy to help Mum out with the store.
I feel disgusted. I just head patted this kid with basically hands covered in guts. Oh boy, I do not know what to say here.
I do my studies at home at the moment. I have to help Mum keep this place running.
What is school anyways? Oh man.
School? Well, mine is a big yellow building on Boogie Street, and the people there run it. They say it's a charity. Mum says it's necessary to do both because it builds character. Mum says a proper worker is dutiful. That's how you get ahead in life. You succeed. Mum says it's peachy. She was a little afraid at first. There's talk about this house being cursed.
Behind her, the window has been boarded up. You sense the boards creaking, twisting for a second, and some kind of doubt in her tense shoulders.
Cursed in the way that makes them say that no business has ever really thrived here, sir. That they all go... Exactly, but we've been doing fine so far.
We can go into the bookstore and ask about the case, but I don't see much more to look into here.
Yes, please do look at our wares inside. The postcards and board games you asked about are also there, sir. Nothing really, sir. Mum doesn't allow me to sneak around in the back rooms or the cellar. I don't really know what's there.
It does not manifest itself in any way. It does not exist. I liked it better when we were talking about whether it's appropriate to stand out in freezing weather. No such thing.
Anything else? Maybe I can tell you about some of our books instead. Crime fiction is about murders or burglaries or things like that, and the work of a policeman or a private detective who's trying to solve a crime and catch the criminals.
Crime murder gets the people go. Okay.
Crime is what we were solving before this conversation began.
It's exciting to people, I guess. They get to imagine dangerous things, and it's kind of like a puzzle, where you can guess who the criminal is, or how the good guys are going to catch him. You don't look much like a policeman. Didn't mean to offend, sir. Sorry, sir. It's just that you don't look like Dick Mullen.
It's not your body that's important in police work anyway. It's your... Damn, where's my tap forehead motion for this?
Head, yes.
No, it's your soul. Your blue soul. Not head, child. Heads.
Isn't that very dangerous?
Policemen live and breathe danger, little girl. Mullen obviously lacks the chameleonic skill. How did I even pronounce that?
Unlike you, sir. He's just a fictional character. He's no match for you. Maybe you can show me some real police work, sir. Like in the books. It's the type of book where there's a rich lady and she has to choose between the good man and the bad man. Or there could be a story about a poor lady getting a rich man. It's about man and lady business, sir. It happens, but usually the guy gets rich in the process. Or should actually be rich himself, but has lost his family property unjustly, like during the revolution or something. Those are unhappy books. For most of the pages, people sad about what they have lost, but then it all turns out just fine in the end. These are not very common. You can't have a choice between bad and bad. Nobody wants to read a story like that.
What if it's written really well?
Well, maybe then it's fine. Maybe if the lady then decides not to pick either, because she doesn't need a bad man. Yes, that would be interesting. That's really not a proper romance story. That's more like everyday life. Not in romance books, sir. These are about nice and pretty people, and everyone is happy in the end.
To be fair, she kinda has a point.
I haven't read many of those. Maybe you should ask Mum.
Okay, I don't want to be aggressive towards the kid.
I'm sure she can help out. Anything else you're curious about? Maybe some about other books?
Okay, let's save. It's time for another dice roll. And this one has a coin flips
Every
chance.
snowflake is like a little gift from the sky.
Come on!
You fail to deduce any.
Damn. I gotta win this. I'm not losing to a little
Every
kid, damn
snowflake
it!
is like a little gift from the
You fail.
Oh, are you kidding? Gah. Damn it, game. I am not losing here.
Every snowflake is like a little gift from the sky. Oh, kings and queens and generals of old, or artists and writers, or musicians, those kinds of people. There's usually something extraordinary about them. I think that's why people read them, to find the secrets of their fame.
Seems like most people who read those books fail to get more famous from reading them.
But it does make the famous people more famous.
These famous people sound like a bunch of dorks. Damn. I just want to pick the silly option. Might as well. We are talking to a kid. Might as well keep it lighthearted.
Annette's expression remains ever so helpful, but she doesn't say anything.
Okay. Oh, I think that's why.
Seems like most people.
But it does make the famous people more famous.
Fame sounds delicious.
Why would they do that, sir? That's so cool. Maybe they'll make you a book cover picture and everything. Standing over a dead body, holding a gun.
I can +1 this some more? I want to keep going. I'm sure I can pull off of...
Every snowflake is... No, sir, I can't. It would be too tiring to refrain from it. It's already tiring enough to remember to say it all the time. It's nice of you to say I could stop, though. That's a friendly enough face, most of the time.
You fail to deduce.
Dang.
Every snowflake is like a little... No, sir, I can't. It would be too tiring to refrain from it. It's already tiring enough to remember to say it all the time. It's nice... Yes, sir. No, sir, I can't. That's a friendly enough face, most of the time.
Dang. Well, I guess this is the highest I can give it.
The girl keeps her hands folded, hidden. Why is that?
What do you mean, sir?
She knows where this is going. She looks around anxiously. Her hands remain folded in front of her. She doesn't want to show them. The lieutenant stands by, looking at the two of you with little interest. A facade of true professionalism. He is far more intrigued by the situation than his poise reveals. She brings out her reddened hands, her nails frayed, nearly chewed down to the flesh.
And you knew this from me keeping my hands folded?
It's super simple for a detective such as myself.
Well, that proves nothing. Anyone could do an easy deduction like that.
She actually is impressed. This is more like a defensive reflex. She nods, half provocative, half enthusiastic.
Okay, it's not these two. I get the feeling it has to do with her mother. Just a gut instinct. It definitely has to do with her mother. It's not the rats, it's not this, and...
Maybe so, sir. Okay, I know it's a bad habit, and I shouldn't. It was okay, sir.
There's more that can be achieved here. Ask her to do the same.
You're quite sober.
The lieutenant does not flinch at the comment. He does not flinch even a single bit. He is intensely not flinching. It takes effort.
Because you usually aren't. I'm sorry, sir. I hope things get better soon.
There she stands, swaying on her feet, assaulted by the early spring breeze. She smiles at you. The whole situation suddenly feels familiar. Somehow, there's something you're missing.
I gotta keep going with this thread.
Hi, Ace Detective. Are you here for more books?
Because you know each other. She's been talking to you so openly because you've talked before.
Yes, I stand in this spot all the time. You've been running around all week without your shirt on, sir, apologising to everyone. I don't really understand what you've done wrong. Of course, you've stopped by a few times. You certainly look better than the last time I saw you. Yeah, I can see. You don't have party eyes anymore.
Party eyes. Yes, of course. That makes sense.
I'm not surprised children have seen you running around with party eyes on.
Oh
He
dear.
thinks. Not at all.
You know, like a cat in the dark, all big and wide-eyed. It certainly looks odd on a man.
The swiveling eyes of a loony drug addict. That is what she meant. You were probably gurning too. Fuck yeah. You should get some party eyes right now. Snap those sequins on you, boy. Oh baby, that's not what you have to worry about. Worry about the important thing.
I didn't know I had to do that. I'm glad I could help you, sir.
Wonder if I can pump 5. I think I can pump logic up. Damn, I'm all out of experience points to dump. Okay, that wasn't too bad. I need to find a place to sell all these recycled bottles, though. I think the Union guys probably did show up at this point. Let's go see. Ah, and speak of the devil. A Union guy. Okay, there's gotta be a place I can sell these bottles. I'm just stumbling around here like a dingus. What's this?
The plaque on the shelf reads, Biographies of Famous People. You see, browsing through all the books with all their names makes your head spin. None of these seem important or relevant. It's all just vapid egoism. Suddenly, a particularly odd title catches your eye. It reads, High Speed Love, the tragic true love story of Jacob Irv and Alfie Delatraz, by one Cecilia Averbrook. High Speed Love chronicles the romance between two of the finest tip-top tourney racers in history. One of them is the madcap driver, Jacob Irv. His blonde mane graces the cover. Next to Irv's life story, you see a slim biography of an Occidental rock star called the Anti-Star. He's famous for shooting morphine into one of his eyeballs and cocaine into the other.
That is an interesting kind of high, maybe a bit too high.
Next to that, Rivasholian radio personality Guillaume Bevy stands in front of a rundown drug den. He's a permanent fixture on Channel 8, reporting on real-life crime and ruining cops' days.
I really must insist you buy one of the books. Reading them is not for free. Do still browse, though, but not too long.
She understands she has erred against the customer and immediately corrects course.
I'm sorry, I did not mean to rush you. You are browsing. Go ahead. Take your time. Time is commerce.
These shelves are overburdened with books.
There is something I'm wondering. Is it possible to even get the 100? Oh wait, I have not seen what was over here. Wait.
A sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance to a striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good afternoon, officers. I'm Joyce. Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM. I'm glad to see you here. I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
There's a trace of irony in his voice. Mischief, even. The lieutenant is hatching some scheme.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group.
It's hard to get a read on her precise disposition, but she appears helpful.
That's the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question. Better not tie the forestay to the backstay on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with.
She wants to answer the question. Protocol keeps her from it.
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets. First, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade in Aliments that gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus. Why? By throwing off half a century of foreign domination under the coalition. Unfortunately for you, the Coalition also leases you the right to police West Revachol.
You'd be shooting yourself in the foot, in other words.
But I am derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike. I believe the official title is Senior Labour Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines
So she knows
and
about the
return with Wild
tattoos.
Pines' counteroffer.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place. Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates. What can I say? The union employs a giant covered in tattoos. A racist giant. I guess that's part of their big tent organization now. What can I say? Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
Sorry, I'm not speaking much here, but...
But the strike began in December.
I gotta let this one cook.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
Man.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike.
I will say, I think with Elysium, I have come to realize I prefer games with, well, okay, I know it's impossible to voice act a lot of visual novel-esque games, but it's like, damn it, the ones that do just... Or maybe I'm just starting to get a thing for CRPGs. I don't know. I mean, I do like my JRPGs, but is just something about listening to long text in this game that works out better with voice. Because if I actually had to read all of this, it'd be like, I don't know.
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
I guess my kind of relaxing is basically things like this. Or rather, I guess my idea of a cozy game is... Disco Elysium. Wow, this is terrible.
Ludicrous even. It's meant.
There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh yes. Every worker, a member of the board.
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
Over-aggressive... Okay, no.
In its defense, another said, demand democracy. Pretty tame stuff compared to every worker, a member of the board. It's quite simple, you see. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision, about what? About anything really, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal. Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group.
Damn. All 3 of these are sardonic answers. Let's just go with the...
They're having a blast. But how can they afford it? After 4 months, my assumption was they would prefer a more practical solution. I'm not sure. Naturally, I assumed that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous situation if there ever was one.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the bowyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me mañana."
No, wait. The chief negotiator heard it from a man at the gates. Surely the Wild Pines group has more effective channels of information. After all, 2,200 people are on strike. This is a big deal for them.
Mr. Clare told him to... how did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see. Yes. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the Union.
Sounds like usual aggressive posturing.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first.
Really?
Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood. He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar. Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues. The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organised labour at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
Circus?
A mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, I suspect we'll be forced to cooperate with them.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Everard and his brother. And your opinion, detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is...
I'm going to say number 2, because boy do they sound like an awful leech. Because...
Indeed. And a hungry one. Sadly, Wild Pines have cooperated with what amounts to a crime syndicate for 2 decades. However much you feed the leech always hungers. I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore. Or coming to work. Ever. End of story. Indeed. The company suspects foul play, but there's nothing they could do. It was a union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
Of course. How else can I help?
Okay, we're not doing 7. 7's gonna get me shot. Let's go with 6.
This... reality.
Yes, reality is your side case. An experimental side case.
Okay, you know what? Let's just keep running with this.
How truly curious. A sort of philosopher detective.
My theory is that this inquiry into the nature of reality will ultimately converge with our murder investigation. Holy cow.
Are they now?
A deep synthesis. I'll assist you however I can then. Go ahead. Ask.
Alright, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
Dang. Impossible 20.
We're in Martinez, baby. Martinez is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour, north of the 881 and Jamrock. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten, even. I'm not a good ambassador. I've only been here once before, as a teenager. Not a lot has changed. There are ruins, a terminal, fishing boats, reeds, boys with boxy shoulders. This place used to be a province, a workers' resort before the city swallowed it and the artillery did its work. The reeds are the real star of the show here now. The further down the coast, the wilder it gets. It's not really a sea, it's the Bay of Revachol. And the bay feeds into the ocean. Yes, we're on an island in an ocean. The world's largest body of water, the Insulindic.
Known to the early Revacholians as Les Immensités Bleues, the blue immensities. Vast, lukewarm and unknowable, flowing in and out of sight.
Caillou. Imagine a
Hey,
pebble,
it's the PBS show I
smoothed over
watched
pebble
a
amidst
long time
great blue
ago.
sea, misshapen, cracked. The cracks are the river Esperance. We're in the delta of this river on the 6th branch, the Martinez distributary.
It is clear this pebble is of enormous value to her and to humanity at large.
I would be happy to. What is a preposterously expensive education for, if not sharing?
Alright, hold on.
Glad to have been of assistance. Of course, Detective.
Wait. We're not done yet. I am re-rolling this stupid thing.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? More lessons in basic reality?
Come on!
A straight.
I will get that roll. I don't care.
You're back. Good. What more lessons in basic reality?
A straight.
Damn it. I can't accept this failure. I don't care if I have to roll double 6.
You're back. Good. What more lessons in basic reality?
A strange.
Dang it. Come on!
You're back. Good. More lessons in basic reality.
A strange cold.
Jeez. This is worse than when I gamble in Yakuza.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Hell, this feels like I'm playing Fire Emblem Heroes all over again with these dog monkey rates.
More lessons in basic reality.
Come on!
A strange.
Dang it. Okay. I swear this won't take more than 10 minutes.
You're back. Good. What can I help? More lessons in basic reality.
A strange.
Ah! Come on. If I could get the one on the corpse, I'll get this one for sure.
You're back. Good. More lessons in basic reality.
What is all of this?
Hey!
The sound.
There we go. It only took like 4 rolls.
What world? The only one, I suppose. The world of matter. And its pale antipode.
The camera of her mind glides over the surface of the water.
Great bodies of water. Forest-covered surfaces. Clusters of light where the cities lie. You've seen the montage. We all have. This world is enough. There is a term of endearment they coined for it in the DeLorean century, when humanity was high on this world, discovering more and more of it, these archipelagos included. Elysium. It does. There are those who would call it hell. A term of hatred that originates, like many such things, with the Mesk petro-fascists. Oh, you want a picture of the world? There is no complete set yet, dear. They're having some trouble reaching orbit.
How
Great
come?
things are difficult to achieve. For now, we're viewing the world from the inside, sideways. We used to think it was a sphere, but that is beginning to look less and less likely by the day. You wouldn't know it from the tabloids, but the ORG nations have been launching weather balloons into the lower ionosphere since the 30s.
Okay, this world is definitely strange.
ORG, Occident Revachol Grad.
There's a steadily increasing trickle of images. Between the big three scientific contributors, they're piecing together a dark grey corona. Yes. Pale covers 72% of the surface. There are grey flares and prominences, even arcs above entire isolas. The images are blurry, but if there was a sphere in there, it certainly looks like it fractured a long time ago.
A cold fear seeps into you.
They say there is a rarefied envelope of matter surrounding the darkened disk of our planet. That is, if we are still living on a planet. Or, to speak more plainly, imagine vast swathes of land disrupted by nothingness. I am sorry, Detective. Philosophically speaking, it must sound quite terrifying. Even scientific positivism isn't entirely convinced about what we're dealing with here. But this is one of the greatest questions of our time. Maybe when they get the complete set together, it will jolt us out of our rut, bring us together, however naive it may sound. I don't know about things of that scale. My expertise lies in nations and trade routes, one or several layers below everything. But yes, we'll be fine. Don't worry.
She does not seem convinced that you'll be fine. If anything, she is realizing this whole reality lowdown is less philosophical than you've let on.
You have misimagined it. I don't have the power to convey to you the effect and geometry of the images that depict our world from below low orbit. It's like the crowning of the world. It's insane. Very disco. You'd love it. See, everyone finds something worth holding on to in this world.
Wait.
However wasted its
No.
opportunities.
Is this why this game is named Disco Elysium?
Suddenly, you're conscious of yourself standing there, on whatever this all is. Your arms hang down by your sides. The lieutenant observes you both, silently. He adjusts his glasses.
What world?
The camera of her mind.
Great bodies of... There is a term of Elysium. There are those who would call a term of hatred that originate. I am, after all, bourgeois and female. Hardly... Glad to have been of assistance. The little that...
Okay, that was an interesting
You're back.
role.
Good. What can I help you with? More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day.
6 kilometers southwest, in the Valley of Dogs, Junior Officer Chad Tilbrook takes aim at a rabid black dog licking its wounds in the grass. To his left, his partner, Emil Mullins, whispers, "You heard what happened to Tequila Sunset in Martinez?" "Yes, he lost his mind," Tilbrook answers, fingers on the trigger. "Don't worry, Emil." He pulls it out slowly. Slowly now. He'll find it again.
What does this have to do with anything?
Always do.
You're an officer of the RCM. Preciso Mundo. Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary Revachol, Detective.
Yes, we are the Revachol Citizens Militia.
He's being sarcastic.
Yes, that means not de jure. The RCM acts in what is poetically called the twilight of international law, both at the behest of the coalition government and to its chagrin. The RCM's responsibilities are defined by the Emergency, Wayfarer and Aliments Acts, 3 pieces of legislation keeping this.
I kind of want to see if I can know it. I might want to make another save of that, just so I can see if I can re-roll it again. Thing is, I don't think I have any auto saves that are that, far in. Actually, shit, I don't. Well, never mind then.
All 3 are good to know when we are out policing.
There's nothing basic about your role, Detective. It's true that the RCM keeps everything the way our seemingly permanent provisional rulers like it. Yet, on the other hand, I know these people. I deal with them daily. Let me tell you, dear, they are not fans of you. The post-revolutionary decade was a disaster for the coalition government. Revachol in the 20s was hell, especially on the west side of the river. Gang warfare, a botched privatization scheme, a nuclear pile meltdown. They called it the international zone because no nation wanted to claim responsibility. The RCM restored peace where the coalition failed. A true blue citizens' initiative. They will never forgive you.
That's somewhat of an exaggeration. In reality, ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement. Ravacholians get to keep the peace in Ravachol, and the coalition doesn't have to worry about it. Anyway, sorry to intrude. Please continue.
Yes, Lieutenant. Permit me to conclude with this. Who you are, to me, is the police. The only legitimate law enforcement authority in Revachol. And if the law officials of our nation need help with the basic terms of reality, well, then I'm here to help. The Pale is not, technically speaking, part of reality.
Yes. Also, I think we've had enough excitement for today. We do have a case to attend to.
His voice is low, but firm. All she can say is...
Of course, Lieutenant. Let's try something else.
Ma'am, this philosophical police detective is very sensitive and impressionable because
Come
of
on!
this recent medical episode.
The Lieutenant's right. Let's change topics.
This is not going to happen with the Lieutenant present, unless you can convince him to step aside. Is what you want to do. But should you?
Yes? A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions? Some sort of krill hunter? No, wait. You're an ancient ruin. A symbol of hubris and decay. Half submerged in some salty sea. Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games. Ah. This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislaine, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot.
I wonder if I can say that without butchering it too badly. Rue de Saint-Ghislaine. Oh shit, never mind. I guess I can say it without utterly botching the words.
Or two. A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old. This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course. Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off.
Splat, splat.
Wonderful.
Please don't tell me I have to do the 3% roll again.
You're back. Good. More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part, the pale is...
Yes, his voice is...
Of course, Lieutenant. Let's try...
Ma'am,
The Lieutenant's...
This is not going to happen with the Lieutenant. Good idea. Just ask him. He won't make a scene.
fine.
See? What can he do? You're a grown man.
Are you sure you're sure? Your colleague seemed adamant. Okay. The pale is the most dominant geological feature of the world, Detective. The separative tissue between the islas. It is the interocellular mass. Isla is a Messinian word for a continent of matter, enveloped on all sides by the pale. Also, isolation, or landmass. We used to believe there was only one. In the last 4 centuries, we have discovered 7. Mundi, Seol, Samara, Ilmara, Grad, Katla, and this, Insulinde. An oceanic isla. It comprises mostly of water. Muindi is the largest, Katla the coldest, Insulinde the bluest. What can I say?
Wait.
Each is perishing and dear.
Wait. That's how it's pronounced? I've always pronounced it as Mundi. I didn't know it was Mundi. Oh, wait, no, fuck. I've been screwing it up this whole time. Since it's... Right, now I remember. Star Wars used this word. It was for Ki-Adi Mundi, not Mundi. Oh, god damn it. I've been pronouncing Trails the Third's final boss wrong this whole time.
Achromatic, odorless, featureless. The pale is the enemy of matter and life. It is not like any other, or anything in the world. It is the transition state of being into nothingness.
The negation of being.
That's right. The negation of being. No, Detective. We're safe. It begins there, 6,000 kilometers to the north, and even more to the south, east, and west. You are in the middle of the Isla.
As your gaze instinctively turns north, a small black pit opens up in your stomach.
Yes. That is enough. Many cities are built much closer. An uproar of matter, darling. Rising into the pale. Rolling.
I should get back to the
even.
case.
The great vision. The area of transition
I
between
really
the
should
world
get back
and the
to
pale
the case.
is called porch collapse. Imagine a grey coronal mist, cold vapor marked by spores of an opportunistic microorganism, a mold that's adapted to grow at the edge of the unrest. It's the most disco thing you will ever see. It's difficult to describe, or even measure. Something whose fundamental property is the suspension of properties. Physical, epistemological, linguistic.
Boy, whatever I'm listening to right now really sounds like a freaking... It reminds me of all the stuff I've watched on Discovery Channel and History Channel back in the day. You know, things like Mythbusters, and I think there was one on Ancient Civilizations on History Channel a long time ago. Although most of History Channel that I actually remember is... I'ma be real with you guys, it's mostly just Pawn Stars. Wait, I think Pawn Stars was on History Channel. It's been a good while. I know there was a history of dogfights on History Channel. And I think... No, wait. I do remember they had this one episode. I forgot the show. But I learned about the Kama Sutra a little bit too early. I remember parading that knowledge around like I was some kind of smart ass way back when. Boy, younger Kaku was kind of well, I guess I can't be too hard on myself. Hindsight's always a 20/20. The things you thought were cool tend to look a little dumb when you look back on it.
The further into Pale you travel, the steeper the degree of suspension, right down to the mathematical. Numbers stop working. No one has yet passed the number barrier. It may be impossible. Oh, it is so difficult for us. It is possible to force dimensions on the Pale. In modern times, we can even compress its latitude, bouncing radio waves from one end to the other, shortening the path. But it is still hard for humans to navigate the Pale without getting lost, or having our minds damaged extensively. Some say the damage stems from extreme sensory deprivation. Others argue that Pale somehow consists of past information that's degrading, that it's rarefied past, not rarefied matter. They call it the blend over of the self. The Pale does not only suspend the laws of physics, but also the laws of psychology, maybe history even. The human mind becomes over-radiated by past.
Who says and who argues?
The logical positivists say, the dialectical materialists argue. It feels terrible. Absolutely terrible. International standards strictly limit civilian travelers to 6 days of Pale exposure per year.
It's more for her. Way more.
No, nameless detective of the Citizens Militia. I am a member of the Entreprenetic Business Class. I'm cleared and trained for 22 days of Pale transit annually. Up to my gills, officer.
Do I want to keep going with this line of thought? I am running out of time for the day.
Entreprenetics is the scientific study of the Pale, or a recent iteration of it by way of grad. The study of the Pale reaches back 6,000 years. The Pericarnassians called it the Western Plain.
They had not traveled the entire circumference of the Pericarnassian Super E-Solar. It was not merely in the west, it was everywhere, even then, surrounding them.
There are signs of pre-modern crossings. Successful navigation of the Pale relies not just on technical know-how, but intensive psychological preparation. Some of these tactics have been known for thousands of years. Nothing. We remain powerless before the Pale. The only real advance in Pale transit is the speed with which an aerostatic craft can pierce it. Less exposure leads to less effects later. Hybrid airships, detective. Conventional rotors or jet engines no longer add velocity after the point of reference for motion is suspended, once you've crossed from near Pale to far Pale. In essence, we throw them in and they come out the other end. If we throw them precisely, then they don't.
Gone, like a skipping stone beneath the surface.
One more Pale.
The Pale outweighs reality 2 to 1. There is more Pale than there is matter, and the ratio is slipping. What do you think, Detective? Precisely. One of the few measurable effects of the Pale is that it is expanding at an unknown rate. An intuitive conclusion of that development is that one day the Pale will cover everything. But this sort of talk is mostly left to extremists. Most people, and indeed most private and government sector organizations, entire civilizations and religions even, find handy ways to ignore or downplay that knowledge. I suggest you do the same.
Off we go. You see the hanged man's mouth open.
One and all. They say Pale is death, but for the universe.
Why should we just leave, and the world get left behind?
The Pale... What do you think, Detective? Precise. An intuitive conclusion of that. Most people, and indeed most private and government sector... I suggest...
Off we go.
One and...
Why should we just leave and...
Yes, sweet reality. But before we do, tell me, Detective, this isn't really an inquiry, is it? You can't remember a single thing. This is the first time you're hearing about any of this. Then tell me, what do you think of the Pale?
I'm gonna say number 2.
You really didn't know. This does not spell good for the investigation, Detective. If you don't know even this, then... I hope so. I truly do. If I may suggest, hold on to your colleague, Kitsuragi. I ran a check on him and he is very competent. In the meanwhile...
Some of that assurance is meant for herself, as much as it's meant for you. She must have a lot on the line here.
You have me. I will assist you in any way I can, even if we have to do it one basic term at a time.
Good. You have not passed out from it. Perhaps I worried for nothing. Are we still on the reality lowdown, or should we do actual police work now?
I am happy to oblige. A bird? Some sort of... Of course you're not my... or 2. A pre-revolution... This one used to be mostly the... Splat, splat. Wonderful. The girl in the old lady rags. Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture. Yes, you and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags. She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture.
Boy, I'm gonna sound friggin' stupid for number 1.
Young people who dye their hair funny colors and wear old people's clothes are stupid, and their little rebellion is self-defeating. All right, what next?
Suddenly, you're not so sure you're part of the supraculture. Of course, no time for silly infracultures. There are more pressing, reality-centric questions to be asked.
These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late for the big time. The revolution. It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle. Why, of course. We're talking Duke out Central. Full swing intraspecies warfare. No, I would say the apes were neutral. On the other hand... century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick question. The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end, nearly the whole world had gotten involved. It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Mazov came along and overthrew the government. It made people overthrow their governments.
No way!
Indeed. Zarat is a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual causes of the revolution were material. The pandemic only provided the spark. From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Mazov's government was overthrown in '08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end. Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control.
Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar. Maybe it's because she has a boat and you have that necktie?
No doubt. But we share the same time and position on the planet's crust. That counts for more than you think. A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the Coalition of Nations. And you, of course, the citizens' militia.
The clatter of typewriter keys fills the main hall of the reappropriated
Damn,
silk
we only
mill.
have 3 hours left
Precinct
before this
49.
day ends.
Chad Tilbrook presses enter.
And I went on the
Outside,
strangest...
Officer Elfboy Williams slams the door of an armored motor carriage.
I'm gonna be real with you guys. That whole spiel about pails really sounds like I'm playing Planescape again. And all the talks of dimensions and beings that are separated.
The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune. Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eastlery communication. Telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
Time flies. The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. 08 to 19 was simply hell. The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere. No, it was a market mirage fueled by cocaine and quantitative easing. The 40s dispelled it like a cold splash, an Isla-wide hangover, you might say. And here we are. Welcome to reality, baby.
Hey! Ooh. New skill point and another quest done. Maybe maybe Manga Common was onto something here. Gaining EXP outside of, the usual is actually kind of fun.
From the looks of it, the 50s haven't been much better for the zone of control. You can see it in her eyes. Days slipping away.
I've no right to be dissatisfied. This shirt is Barbara Muscova, this raincoat is impervious to rain and is guaranteed for 100 years. My daughters will wear it. No, it's just... we could have had so much more. Every one of us. If only we'd played it right. Good question. What would you have done differently?
No, her first.
And I asked you, past-less detective of the citizens' militia, what insight has acute encephalopathy given to you? And you would have died, most likely. Not far from here. Maybe even right here, during the beachhead. defending the coast the day the Coalition took the city. Then you would have died fighting against them. Long before the beachhead. Good question.
No, her first.
So a quarter of humanity simply lost their minds. And how would you stop a prion, a complex folding protein, unlife, with the technology 50 years ago? A poor remedy for prion disease. That was the attitude of most of the more moderate Indo tribes, particularly those who supported the king. Kuupi, Resplendent, both gone now. Those that survived mended their ways. They're all ultras now.
Opinions expressed here do not reflect the official position of the RCM.
And what is your official position, Lieutenant?
My position, ma'am? My parents got ripped to shreds in the revolution. I would have gone the same way. I was saved by being 2 years old. That's my position. The abattoir.
Understandable. Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head.
She's not gloating. It's a relieved celebration.
Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So well, one forgets they even existed. Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
Yeah, it was a kerfuffle, all right.
Yes, the Insulindian deluge, they call it. Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad. I prefer the term risk-averse. King Guillaume was nobody's fool. He could smell a PR disaster brewing, so he got out alive, and his nephew Fricelle got shot in his place. Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. It was a wild time. The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything. Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective. Or the remaining gentry. The beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary...
I feel like I should go on the case. But there's just something compelling about learning about this world.
Some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the Ultras, or Ultra-Liberals. They fared well. They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
She's one of them.
To foreign intervention. The Coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights. The Liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The Coalition took the ground. The ocean, the laws, and the people. The Coalition of Nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-la-Clay. The armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do.
There is bitterness in her voice, tempered with understanding. She is critical, but ultimately understands the cause.
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights, and not shooting people in the head. At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government. This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
The color of moralism is blue. The official motto of Moral Intern, or Moralist International, is a blue forget-me-not, a piece of grey sky. Unofficial. For a moment, there was hope.
Of course. Not not easy to be moderate about head shooting in your line of work. They are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
Not so fast. Who is she in all this? Ask her who she is. She owes you an answer. She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor. A devourer of nations and infants. I am an ultra.
Dios míos! Cool, I liberate pretty hard myself. Wait, didn't we already just hear what's an ultra?
An ultra-liberal. It's a type of liberal. From the revolution. It's, not the moderate kind.
Fuck it.
Yes. I am the nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. I pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. My kind surrendered the nation to financial colonists. I can see you thought our kind were all extinct. After all, no sane person identifies as this anymore. Not in broad daylight. I can see we're not so different, you know. Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself, do you find me frightening?
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and pride. Forgive her. But only because you like pearlescent teeth and those light green eyes.
I do hope so. I do hope we're able to remain collegial despite it all. Tell me, when you look in the mirror, do you not see a monster staring back at you? When the dust settled, the liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. This was all our last generation managed. With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinez a monument to the efficacy of its artillery, I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the coalition. Not here in Martinez, and not in the Stella Maris or Delta Beachheads either. If not for my own sake, then for my daughters. We had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isola down rather than let them have it.
Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes. An oil fire on the ocean.
Yes, I suppose I am. But I wouldn't be a patriot anywhere but here.
Seditious talk, man.
Perhaps. My intellectual vanity will be my undoing.
You're no dummy yourself.
A smart boy getting smarter, one basic term of reality at a time. Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother and a wife. Now, shall we return to reality?
Okay, that's a white check.
She won't maneuver her way.
I am an ultra. Yes, I can see you.
In her green, forgive her, but only because you like pearlescent.
I do hope when the dust settled, nothing's settled. Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else?
Hold on, we gotta save one more time. Let's actually get to the point. Although, to be fair, this EXP is kinda nice to have. I kinda want more. Maybe putting level 1 motoronics was not the world's best idea.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? Quite a few things, I'm afraid. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. And this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice.
How curious. Why is that, Detective?
Awkwardness washes over the conversation. The woman doesn't like this turn of events.
How can I forget? I was hoping your condition was rhetorical, Detective. A questioning technique. I have sympathy for your highly unusual condition, sir, and I believe you. But as it stands, I cannot share any confidential information until I've seen both your badges.
I understand the dictates of protocol, ma'am, but is there no way around it?
I'm afraid not, Lieutenant. These are my employer's orders.
Hang on. She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement. She's a negotiator. Just float a favor at her. Insinuates.
I will be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something very tangible.
You're in, but expect her to drive a hard bargain.
Reports from inside Terminal B suggest it's a hub for the local drug trade. This is an open secret in Martinez. The Union controls the terminal, so it goes to reason. The company has tried looking into this matter before, to no avail. Perhaps someone with your authority and resources might turn over the right stones. Or you can recover your badge. Though if I may be blunt with you, it sounds like that may be a lost cause.
Detective, a word in private before we continue. This is not going quite as I hoped it would. Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance and, not volunteer us to be her henchman. This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played straight into her hands.
He doesn't let it show, but there is a limit to how much the consequences of your unprofessional behavior can cost the investigation. Maybe this is all her plan. She might have heard about you.
No. If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. Otherwise, she could claim we're siding with the Union, or that we are on their take. We'd never hear the end of it. What I propose is, we ask her, then we investigate, briefly. But do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done and demand for her information on the lynching. I wouldn't go that far. Her reaction did come off as sincere to me. I think she's just quick to adapt. She's a professional, after all. I'm sure you will, Detective. Oh, that would be fantastic, but do we have the time? The world is large and your badge is 8 by 6 centimeters.
The situation might have changed drastically by the time you locate it.
You could request a new one from your station, but that would literally take months.
Lonesome, long way home. Here we go. Home awaits. Walk past Station 41 and through the market, past the Boogie Street spearhead to the other side of the lake, the frozen eye at the center of the district. Then, past the video rental store on the corner. There, at the end of a street lined with pine trees, a small house no larger than a matchbox. 11 Voyager Road. You no longer live there. Those times are gone. And so are those people. Why did you come here? Why are you still here?
Damn.
And where's the dealer? You have to get back to work. That's all you have now.
Damn, that's a lot of these.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samar and Isola into Revachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years.
Ingredients for what, ma'am?
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL, and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff. Yes, after they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is taking place at various sites in and around Jamrock Quarter, north of here.
Wild Pine seems to be well apprised of the local drug trade, ma'am. Do you mean to say the Union also produces the product? Sells drugs, I mean?
We're in logistics. It's our business to know. And no. As far as the company knows, the Union does not produce it. They transport the ingredients for a cut. Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dock Workers Union. Still, every chain has its weak link.
The handoff. The motor lorries at the roundabout.
Precisely. Someone needs to move the ingredients from the harbour into the city. Once they reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers well beyond our grasp. But in transit, they're vulnerable. Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment. I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you.
Uncovering Union secrets could also give you an upper hand when dealing with them.
No. We asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge. The road company is a partner of one of our subsidiaries. However, this is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has been processed by the Trade Committee, they'll have no choice but to lower the drawbridge, and the operation will continue. Thousands of litres of raw ingredients will pour onto the streets of Revachol. Not the east across the river, but the west. The vulnerable, the weary.
Well, at least this solves one mystery.
What is that, Lieutenant?
Why I had to call East Motor Track and beg them to open the drawbridge for me. I'd wondered since I first drove in, on my motor carriage.
I am sorry for the inconvenience, Lieutenant Kisaragi, but we need them trapped here. This is a unique opportunity. I'm sure you understand. How do you think they're financing this strike? There are thousands of unpaid dock workers going strong for the 4th month straight.
That is suspicious.
There was a shakedown of local businesses preceding the strike. Many were squeezed to bankruptcy to fund it.
With all due respect to these desert cacti, the contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000 men. The local businesses can scarcely provide for themselves. Precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely, then loaded onto lorries and driven to Jamrock. You simply need to find one driver who will open up to you.
It sounds like she tried looking into it herself, but
We did. On more than one occasion. Apparently, there's some sort of inter-precinct disagreement about whose jurisdiction this area falls under.
We know the company has launched its own probe into the Union's alleged involvement. We also know it's come up empty. It's not just the RCM. No one's been able to find any hard evidence.
Well, here's your chance, officers. Yes? Excellent. According to my reports, there are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout.
Let's see.
Hopefully one of them will know something. It may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. I can keep the drawbridge up for a few more days at least. You should have the time you need. In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance.
Boy, I'm about to ask the really ding-dong question. Oh, this one's so gonna get me morale down.
Is what you want to say, but it isn't that easy, is it? Look at that lady. Take a gander. Squint your eyes, bub. Why, yes. Tucked away under that sturdy green raincoat, almost rustic in its simplicity, a silk shirt and matching scarf around her gentle throat, while dull orange pearls
This
hang
is some
from her
kind of
earlobes,
description.
red from the cold. Her light green eyes scan you, full of knowledge and worry, wealth and all its possibilities. These are the kind eyes of the rich man that seem to say everything is possible, within reason. Now look at you, you misery-clad simian.
Oh dear.
Barely able to tie your own laces. Your armpits are lakes. A scythe of booze precedes you. Your hair sticks to your forehead, and your underwear feels uncomfortable. You're poor. Poor as balls. You can't ask this person for money. You're too... Maybe you could ask her for some stock tips. That's a maybe. Or a job. But you're sure as hell too ashamed to ask for cash, buddy. Oh God, the lieutenant is here too. Do not dishonor the force.
As I was saying, if there's any way I may be of assistance...
Okay. I am probably gonna fuck this up. Maybe there are some dice rolls that should not be rolled. Actually, wait. Okay. Okay, we're running out of time here. Wait a second. We've gone backwards to where, Kuno and the gang are. Oh shit, we're running out of time. Crap. Am I gonna have enough time to make 100 real? I don't even know where the machine is to fucking dump the cans. Shoot, so many people to talk to.
There are clothes inside.
Don't be shy. These are premium class.
Save the economy. That sounds. You find your hand.
Economical, but also trendy. Look first hand, buy second hand. Keep the economy moving.
There's a drawbridge. Alright, let's run around the city. I think I can get the general layout before this stream ends. I just need to know where to dump the, I need to know where to dump this thing.
Scab? You're hazy on the notion of a scab.
Oh wait,
You a scab now?
Wait, it's that manana guy. Hold on.
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center.
Damn, where is this place? Oh, I have health charges.
There must be another way into the building.
Whoa, that's loud. Dang it, I want to know. Crap, there's not much time left. Maybe I should have seen if I could just ask Joyce for it.
An old call box, an off-key melody starts playing after you ring the doorbell. Then a woman picks up the receiver.
Please stop calling here. Grown-ups don't have time for your stupid games.
She thinks you're the gremlin child. What would he say to this?
Pardon? This is not Kuno. Who is this? Please just stop calling here.
A single beep indicates that the line has gone dead. Nothing happens after you ring the doorbell. What an ominous name. All you hear is static. You ring the doorbell. You wait for a minute or two. Looks like someone had silence. Silence. You hear static from the intercom speaker. It sounds as if someone has picked up the receiver, but...
Yes, hello. This is Tricentennial Electric.
She sounds almost antique, as if her voice was being played off an old wax cylinder. A receiver must not be working properly. The lieutenant exchanges a look with you.
It's you. My God, I didn't think I would hear your voice.
It's a woman, and she knows you. Who cares that you don't remember her? Just go along with it. No, something's wrong here. Are you sure she's talking to you?
Michelle, just please. Why did you even call? I don't understand. You've been gone for months. I thought you didn't care. Ever since I came to work here, it's been different. As if my mind's been wiped clean.
A spot of static overrides her words. When she speaks again, it sounds like she's submerged.
It's so nice. It's so nice to be able to finally forget.
She sounds like she's about to cry. She doesn't answer. Silence. The only thing you can hear now is static and waves washing ashore on the bay. Another seagull passes by. It's getting cold standing here, staring at the silent call box.
I don't know what happened either. We should probably stop playing with this thing.
You press the number sign on the keypad that terminates the call. 12 name cards on the call box read.
Alright, my volition's 5. I think I can pull this off.
An old call box with whatever she says, it
Here we
can't
go.
hurt you. You're a different person now. Stronger, healthier, and... Alright, maybe not healthier, but there's a light buzz.
Yes, hello. This is...
Here come the bad vibes again. Relax.
My gosh, I didn't think I would hear your voice again. Michelle.
Is this some kind of joke? The voice from the intercom doesn't answer, but you can hear her breathing.
Ever since I came from... As if my mind's been wiped clean.
And then it hits you. She tries again not to cry, and still doesn't succeed complete. Real or not, your mirror neurons react. It feels painful to be listening to this. Her sound melts into the static from a long-distance phone call. From time to time, you can hear people talking in the distance, but can't make out any words. This is where you hung up the call the last time, but the recording is still going. You press the number sign on the keypad that terminates the call. 12 name cards on the call box read. Silence. No one answers your call. This button looks new, but someone has removed the name card.
Huh. This button looks new. It's probably not connected yet. Yes?
Wonder how you're supposed to get in here. Alright, you know what? I've got nothing to lose. And we're about to reach the end of our day, so let's ditch my dignity and go beg an old lady for money, because holy shit, I am broke.
You're back. Good.
Voila, you're doing it.
Of course. How much do you need?
What?
She's surprisingly nonchalant about this.
That's a good sum. Not too small, not fantastically large.
She removes a few notes and hands them to you. The paper is cold and oily to the touch.
Unreal. That actually worked. That actually worked.
Whoa, whoa. Did you see how easy that was? Ask her for more. Toot toot. Train to Moneytown. Can you eat honor? Are you an omnivore? Give me a break.
So, I hope I didn't just bribe you, officer. It may not be technically illegal under the Emergency Act, but still.
You're right, ma'am, that donations are permitted under the Emergency Act, unseemly as it may be, as long as they are properly logged with the precinct.
Which he most certainly will do. Now, how else can I help the RCM today, besides supplementing its salaries?
Alright, I should probably make an extra... Okay. I know I just spent most of this stream talking to an old lady. Yeah. Looks like we'll turn in for the day next time. And maybe not go on a wild philosophical rant and, okay, well, it was less of a rant, but it's like a huge philosophical tangent. God damn. I did not expect to hear the, wait, this world isn't actually natural talk in this game. But, well. This game is just getting weirder and weirder the more I go through it. Anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning for oh god, all the pale talks making me not remember. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the morning for Nayuda and Eternights. So, till then, take care and farewell.